All right, so solving two-step equation with fractions. So once again, we're going to be combining the one steps with fractions into two steps. So we've got 7/9 x plus 2/3 equals 4/15. So first step, just like on two-step equations, you're going to use the additive inverse to get rid of the constant. So here plus 2/3, we want to minus 2/3. So we minus 2/3 to both sides. Okay, that leaves us with 7/9 times x equals 4/15 minus 2/3. Okay, we need a common denominator, so we have to adjust this fraction here, multiply it by 5, which is going to give us 4/15 minus 10/15. Okay, we go ahead and add the fractions together. You get a negative 6/15, which can reduce to a negative 3 go to both, so 2/5. Okay, so now 7/9 x is equal to negative 2/5. Okay, so now our last step. So this is all the first step right here. This is just adding that fraction, the additive inverse of the fraction to both sides. Now last step is multiply both sides by the multiplicative inverse of the coefficient. So once again, the coefficient is the number or the fraction in front of the variable, and the multiplicative inverse of a fraction is just it flipped. So we're going to multiply both sides by 9/7. And when we do that, we get negative 2 times 9, which equals negative 18, over 5 times 7, which is 35. So there we've solved. Once again, this is going to cancel each other out, as does this up here. And so we're left with just x equals negative 18/35. Okay, so these are the steps we're using in solving these equations. Okay, one last one. We're going to do the same steps, except now we have to just add the converting to improper fractions when multiplying. And you can do that if you want for when we add and subtract. But once again, when adding or subtracting mixed numbers, you can add or subtract the whole numbers, then add or subtract the fractions. So, okay, so first step, once again, undo the subtraction of 3 1/4. So we're going to add. The opposite of a negative 3 1/4 is positive 3 1/4. Okay, so once again, this is going to cancel out. Now here, I'm just going to quickly adjust this 1/4 to an 1/8. So I know that if we times 4 by 2, we're going to get 8. So this becomes 3 2/8. Okay, so now we've got 1 4/5 times x is equal to our 5 3/8 plus 3 2/8. Okay, so we can add our whole numbers. 5 plus 3 is 8. And then add our fractions. So 3/8 plus 2/8 is going to give us 5/8. And so there now we have added our mixed numbers. So 1 4/5 x equals 8 5/8. So this is now we need to, so actually this is going to be down here, convert the mixed numbers to improper fractions. Remember, we have to convert to improper fractions before we multiply fractions or divide. So once again, we do that by taking 5 times 1 plus 4. So denominator times whole number plus numerator over 5. So this is going to give us 9/5. So 9/5 times x equals, so then same thing over here, 8 times 8 plus 5. So denominator times whole number plus numerator. 64 plus 5 gives us 69. So 69/8. So now we've converted to improper fractions. Now we can multiply fractions. But we have to multiply both sides by the multiplicative inverse of 9/5. Once again, the multiplicative inverse is just that fraction flipped. So 5/9 to both sides. These are going to cancel out, leaving us with x, so we've isolated the variable. Now we're left with 69 times 5, which is going to give us 345 over 8 times 9, which is 72. Okay, so there we've solved. The last step is to put it as a mixed number. So top number goes under the bracket. Denominator goes out in front. 72 can go into 345 4 times. That's going to give us 288. When we subtract, we get our remainder. That'll give us our new numerator. So when we subtract, we're left with 57. So once again, you can't subtract 8 from 4, so you have to borrow. This becomes a 3. This becomes a 15. 15 minus 8 is 7. Can't take 8 from 3, so this becomes 13. So 13 minus 8 is going to be 5. And then 2 minus 2 is 0, so we're left with 57. So once again, our whole number is up top. Numerator is our remainder, and then denominator stays the same. So this becomes x equals 4 and 57 70-seconds. Okay, so that's what you're doing on this worksheet. Normally, or most likely, you'll be working in a group if you're in class, but if you're online, refer to this as the steps to go through, or if you can follow the steps on the notes page, that would be great too. Okay, so then what this is going to do is get you ready to fill out the worksheet here. Once again, you're going to go through the steps, put in the fraction. You can either put it in as an improper fraction or as a mixed number, and when you do, the cell should turn green. So on this one, we're going to we're going to subtract 1/4 from both sides. So 1/4, that's going to become 3/12. So 5 minus 3 is going to give us, that's going to give us 2/12, which is 1/6. Okay, now next step is to multiply both sides by the multiplicative inverse of 3/8, which is 8/3. Excuse me, so 8 times 1 is 8, 3 times 6 is 18. So then here we should put in equals, and let's see if I can figure out how to do this on the iPad. Okay, there we go. So we're going to put in equals. Remember, if it's a fraction, you need to address it as equals. Otherwise, it'll think that you're putting in a date. And that is 8/18. Hit enter. Okay, it didn't turn green, so I was off. I was incorrect. So minus 1/4, which is 3/12. 5 minus 3 is 2/12. Okay, so then 1/6. Multiply by the multiplicative inverse, so 8 times 1 is 8. 3 times 16 is equal to 18. So I'll have to double check and see why, but that should be the correct answer. But anyways, that's how you're going to be solving this. So go ahead and put in your answers. I'm going to double check this and see why that did not work. So I'll make sure it is corrected before this all goes out. So, but once again, that's all that you're going to be doing. So watch the video or go over the notes, and then make sure you know how to fill out this worksheet when you're done.